Hey guys, welcome YouTube. Let me just get Facebook involved and we can all get started. Hey everyone. Hey everyone, I believe I'm live on YouTube and Facebook now. I hope everyone is doing well and I'm so glad that everyone is joining me. And welcome to my last Storytime Sunday before the holidays. I'm taking a 3 week break to enjoy the holiday. So this will be our last Sunday story time together. And for those of you who watched my Saturday uploaded sermons, yesterday was the last day for those. And this story is called The Great Exchange. Um, this story is about Macy. Macy grew up in not such a good home. She grew up in a home with a lot of abuse, a lot of arguments, not so much physical abuse, but emotional and mental abuse. Her father and mother would yell at her. No, her father would yell at her, and her mother would just stand by and say nothing. So she dealt with this from the age of 3, when her father um, called her stupid and said she was dumb for not putting her toys away, like 3-year-olds do, to the age of 17 when she ran away from home. But in that time, although her home wasn't a good home, um, Christmas time was the time when the family went all out, like gifts and things under the tree and everything. And Christmas, although her home wasn't very loving, Christmas was a time when she would feel love from her family. And every Christmas, she would go with her mom to exchange gifts. And her mom would take her to exchange, not exchange it, she would go to buy gifts with her mom to exchange with absolutely everybody. Like her mom and dad's bosses, everyone they knew, basically everyone they knew. Her parents might not have been very loving to her, but to the world they were loving. Her father was a banker and her mother was a school teacher. So to the outside world, they seemed very loving and very caring. but inside the house, Maisie was living through hell. Like a lot of abuse and base, um, not physical neglect, but emotional neglect. So Macy grew up to love Christmas because that was the only time of year she ever felt love from her parents. So when she was about, um, so it because of the way her parents went all out for Christmas because of the show, Maisie grew up with this attitude that you could treat anyone, anything you, anyone, any way all year round, but as long as you're nice to them, giving to them at Christmas, that's all they need. Because that's how she grew up. Um, so when Macy was 18, she met her husband, Tom. And Maisie and Tom fell in love, and Tom um, grew up in a truly loving family all year round. His parents were extremely loving, extremely caring, extremely giving people. So when he met her, it was like he had met his soulmate, and he didn't see the brokenness in her, the neediness in her, the like utter, I think, devastation in her. All he saw was this this kind and loving person. But remember, that's how she grew up. That's how Macy grew up. So Macy and Tom got married and had 3 children. And sometimes when you're dealing with pain, sometimes you don't know how to break the cycle. And she didn't know how to break the cycle. So the same way her mom raised her at Christmas time is the same way she um, she raised her children. So Christmas time around their house was very showy with the tree and the lights and the gifts, but it wasn't because of Jesus. It wasn't because of family. It wasn't because of love. It was because of that's the way Christmas was done at their house. And um, and then one Christmas, when Maisie and Tom had been married for about 20 years, um, for about, let's say, 15 years, and their kids were teenagers, Tom had enough. He said, "You know what, Macy, I can't do this anymore. You're an angry person because we all know this. Hurt people hurt people. And she just was continuously emotionally hurting him for 20 years. But he put up with it because he believed in marriage, he believed in Jesus, he believed that God had called them together, although she wasn't a Christian, but he felt that his love could change her. But 15 years of mental, emotionally emotional abuse, not only because of um, you, not only to you, but to your children. It took a toll on Tom. And one day, when Tom went home, he's like, you know what? The kids and I can't do this. You're a very angry person. I know there's a loving person in there, but something is desperately wrong with you. I've tried for 15 years, but I can't do this anymore. And she's like, fine, you want to leave? Leave. And he's like, well, you're not even gonna fight for our family. You're not gonna fight for our marriage. He's like, she's like, no, if you want to leave and take those little brats with you, then leave. And then Tom said, fine. So he grabbed the kids. He packed a bag for himself. The three kids packed the bag with him, and they all left. So, Maisie was so mad after the kids left. She went outside in a huff, and she was walking in the street, like she was going across the street, and then she got run over by a car. And then when she got run over by a car, when she woke up, the world seemed very different. And those streets were replaced with camels and were replaced with all of those things from biblical times, like camels, and you saw people with oxen, and you saw ladies wearing head coverings, and men in the way they used to dress in Jesus's day. And she's like, what is this? And she was in her modern day clothing, surrounded by people the way they used to dress in Jesus's day. So she went from door to door and really was trying to figure out, how did she get here? Where is this? She looks like she's in the Bible. But how can this be? She was just in modern time and she got run over by a car. And now she's back in Bible times. And like, as she was going across those streets, those streets with the camels and with lambs and with people in a marketplace, she went to the marketplace and talked with this young girl. And this young girl said, oh, they started talking, and she was like, I'm from the future. I don't know what's going on here. Everything is strange to me. And what's going on here? She's like, well, I don't know, but my name is Mary, and it's nice to meet you, Maisie. My fiance Joseph is here somewhere, and she points to her fiance Joseph, and um, she's like, well, why don't you, since you have no place to stay, why don't you come to my house? It's right over there, just down the road. So she follows Mary, this young girl, uh, down the road to her house. And uh, and her fiance Joseph comes over to visit, and Maisie gets introduced to Joseph, and they sit down at this wooden table for dinner. And Mary's parents come, and everything is a family celebration. And at, at all this time, Maisie is just so astounded at what's happening around her. Um, and so after dinner, um, Mary says, would you like to help me uh, hang clothes on the line? And Maisie says, sure, like to help you hang clothes on the line. So while Mary's showing Maisie how to hang the clothes and way to hang the clothes, and while they're hanging clothes on the line, this angel comes down right in front of their eyes and says, Mary, you have been chosen among women to carry the Christ. So she repeats what's in the biblical story. This angel repeats what is in the biblical story verbatim to Mary. And at the end, Mary says, be it to me according to your will. And Maisie sees this light come upon Mary, and Mary's like, and then the light is gone, and then um and then um Mary tells Joseph, like, Mary runs to tell Joseph what has happened with this angel, that the angel Gabriel came to her and says that she will carry a child. His name Jesus. He will be called Wonderful Counselor, Prince of Peace, Everlasting Father, like the biblical story. So she tells Joseph this, and Joseph feels kind of scared, just like the biblical story. We all know that story. If you don't, it's in the Gospels. I will put it down in the comments and in the description box, the scriptures, to read more of that specific biblical story. So as Maisie's watching this story, biblical story, unfold just like the Bible, she is totally not believing this. She's like, I cannot believe that this is happening. So when Mary's telling Joseph, Maisie is right there when Joseph is well, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna break up with her and just not bother with her anymore since she's pregnant? And then um, then May then Mary went away to tell her parents that she just got a visit from the angel and that she's going to carry a child. Um, um, but Maisie was walking with Joseph, and when Joseph came into the shed, another angel came to Joseph and said, "Don't break up with her. Don't put her away. The baby she's carrying is not of a man. She hasn't been with a man, but the baby she's carrying is from the Holy Spirit. Um, so don't worry about it." So when when this young couple absorbs the news that she is having a baby, um, when the shock wears off, the family gets prepared for this baby, and you know how we're all excited when we have a baby. So Macy's there for all of this. And what happens is months go by where Maisie and Mary become friends, and Maisie sees Mary's belly getting bigger and them preparing for the baby and feasts and vegetables and all of that. And when the baby is supposed to be born, there is um, something when the baby is supposed to be born, they can't find any room, any hotel for it to be born in. Just like the biblical story, it happens. And Maisie, this modern character, is seeing this happen. She's seeing them go around. She was with Mary when she had her first contraction, and um and like she is totally watching this story, getting details that the Bible doesn't say, or doesn't give weight to. She's totally watching the whole biblical story go out. Just like Joseph and Mary knocking on doors, and when they got to Bethlehem and the animals were tired, the and the animals were tired. There was no room at any hotel, and Maisie is seeing all the innkeepers say, "You know what? There's no room." And then they come upon this stable, and then they have the baby there, and the Christ is born, and all these people come, and the three wise men come with their uh, gold, frankincense, and myrrh to offer to the child. So he's seeing this biblical story take place. And then after the baby is born, Mary said, because Mary's hot and tired, so Mary said, "Will you go um, outside to find water. I'm really thirsty. I need some water. The well is just across the way there. And Maisie, as stunned as she is, said yes. And um, so uh, when she goes out to fetch the water, she gets run over by an ox. Um, and then when she wakes up, she's back in modern time. And she's back on her street. She's back in her house. Um, she's back um, in her time. She sees her house. She sees everything familiar to her. And she runs back home. And she opens the door, and her house, Tom and the kids are gone. And she says, Lord, she prays for the first time in forever. She says, Lord, what was that? And the Lord's like, I had to take you back to where the first gift was given. He was like, I'm, the Lord spoke to her and said, I'm the truest gift. Uh, I came to this world to show love, to bring redemption. Christmas is about me. It's not about gifts, and I had to take you back to my birth so that you can understand what the greatest gift was. The greatest gift is not Santa Claus. The greatest gift is not the Christmas tree and all the lights and all the pomp and circumstance of Christmas. It's about me. And and the reason you give gifts is because I gave the greatest gift of my son. And I gave the greatest gift of my son to all the world. And when the Lord finished speaking this to her spirit, her heart was completely changed. And she ran and found her husband, and found Tom, and found the kids, and all the hurt and pain of her childhood, and all the hurt and pain of her past was broken, because she knew that Jesus came to give the greatest gift exchange, which is his son for her sin. So the greatest gift exchange is Jesus for our sin. And that is my story called the Great Exchange. And if you don't know about this exchange, if you don't know that that the real meaning of Christmas is that we celebrate the fact that Jesus came to earth as a baby to ultimately exchange his self for us, to ultimately give his life for us. So they celebrate Christmas and Easter as two holidays, his birth and his death, but I think it's one holiday, because Jesus gave his son. Jesus gave his life for our sin, and that is the greatest exchange ever. And And when you're shopping and when you're celebrating this year, remember he's not the he's not only the reason for the season, but he is the season. He's every day, every year, 365 days a year, 7 days a week. It's all him. It's all his life. And he pours his life into ours. And all we have to do is accept his life, accept his glorious salvation. I hope you enjoyed my story and Merry Christmas. Uh, Take care. Bye. I'm going to sign off on Facebook first and then on YouTube. So I won't be here next week for Storytime Sunday, but I will be back January 5th for Storytime Sunday. And my Saturday sermon will be January 4th. So look for that upload on January 4th. Thank you. Be blessed. Bye. So bye, Facebook. And I will see you soon, YouTube. Remember, YouTube, January 4th for the sermon, and January 5th for Storytime Sunday. Take care. Bye.